All right, test 1 2 3. I think this is working here. So good evening, everybody. Today's the 21st of July, 2024. Now, I want to make this video because I think maybe this should be addressed, or I find it interesting enough to make a video about it. And here's what I want to talk about. But before I get to the main subject or the main reason for making this video, I want to talk about a few things. So today I was out in the middle of nowhere somewhere in Arizona. I don't want to specify where, but I had very, very bad signal in this area. Usually when I go out there, it's very, very hard to get signal with my provider. So somehow I was able to get a text from a very good friend of mine, and he knows who he is. And in that text message, he said that President Biden decided to drop out of the race. To which I replied, remember, I have told you so. So, not to brag or anything, but I kind of predicted this was going to happen. Don't ask me how, and here's some proof of that. So, this is IRC for a lot of people that if you don't know what IRC is, basically it's Internet Relay Chat. It's one of the oldest almost like live communication platforms on the internet since the early 90s, and it's still relevant today. So yeah, please don't come harass us over here. I am probably gonna hide all these channels and everything here. Yeah, maybe this is not really good to show. So, but anyways, this is today. This is probably yesterday. 12/1/16/4. Yeah, so this is yesterday, a couple of days ago. So I'm gonna say probably maybe. I gotta run to a client there. This was probably Thursday afternoon. So today is Sunday. Okay, so. What did I say? Here we go. Boom, right here. Biden out by the end of the weekend. Matt says RFK going to take his place. Well, I don't think so, but we'll see. So, and Matt says today at noon, right when I think I got the text from my buddy in the middle of nowhere, didn't someone say genius, genius Shazam? I just spent 2 hours back. Okay, anyway, so this is not very important. This is not what I really want to talk about today, but I thought it was kind of interesting, so I wanted to record this because a lot of people are not going to believe me, some of my friends, so I might send them to this video to see this. So, but a lot of people know that I've called this out about a week ago. So anyways, let's move on to what I wanted to make the video about. So yeah, moving on. Okay, so this is not what I want to talk about, but as we all know that Mr. Trump has had a rally yesterday, and I forget exactly where he was at a rally, but in the rally, I watched clips of it and parts of it, and he said something about Bidenomics, and then he said we're going to replace it with Maganomics, which I thought was kind of interesting because I've heard that term before, but it wasn't like a buzzword. Like, I've heard it before, but it never really stuck. I haven't seen anybody kind of use it or seen it in any video. I haven't talked to anybody that, you know, put a lot of light on this this term. So I'm sure you guys are probably going to say, oh, I've heard that a million times, blah blah. Well, I've heard it before, but I never really gave it much thought, right? So I thought the word's interesting and kind of funny. So then I started thinking about something. So I've been in the IT field for over 30 years. Yeah, just about 30 something years. So I've been in the IT field that long. I started on the internet in the 90s when I was a kid, early 90s when IRC wasn't around yet, and the good old 14K dial-up and prepaid US dollar phone cards from an obscure provider in my country, K.RO. I'm just talking about some very old stuff over here that probably nobody has a clue what I'm talking about, but just to divert a little bit. So K.ro was a company, an ISP in Romania called Kappa, Kappa, like the attire, like the shoes and the sweatpants and the t-shirts they used to sell for working out, like the attire like Nike or something, so which was pretty big in Eastern Europe. And their logo was those two people standing back to back. So whoever knows about that or seen that before or knows what I'm talking about, props to you. You're probably an old guy like me. But that's not the main reason what I want to talk about today. So getting off topic a little bit, but let's go back to the topic. So a lot of people like to invest in the stock market. A lot of people like to invest in cars, vehicles, gold, all these things, right? Well, I like to invest in domains, meaning .coms and all kinds of domains, okay? So I had a friend years ago that made a lot of money doing this, and I've been buying domains and not really selling, but buying, acquiring, building a portfolio for years, and sold a few, bought a few, bought some more, sold one, two, yada yada yada. So and working in the IT field, I found something very interesting. So I wanted to share with everybody and ask and see if maybe the IT guys like me, have you thought about this or have you looked into this, you know? So let's see. This is what I'm talking about. So Dynadot, as you can see right here, I'm on dynadot.com, right? This is a registrar. So for you guys that don't know what a registrar is, basically it's a company that you can go to their website online and you can purchase a domain name through them. So Dynadot is an example. GoDaddy, if you live in the US, I'm sure you probably heard of GoDaddy, or you've seen the TV commercials with Danica Patrick and the NASCAR, their green outfit and the green car, and the GoDaddy guy with the fuzzy hair and stuff. Or you heard of I don't know, GoDaddy with Bob Parsons when he was getting all that flack for going to Africa and shooting some elephants, and when the press was criticizing him for that. So you probably know about GoDaddy, and there's tons of them. There's registrars for extensions, you know, like country code extensions, so CC, country code, top level domains. So there's millions of these companies out there. So something dawned on me. So I wanted to do some research, and I said, well, I wonder if someone bought Maganomics.com, just as an example, but this is not really what I want to talk about today. This is just an example. So let's say I go to Dynadot and this name is available and I buy it for like $10, $15 or whatever, $11.99 or whatever .com is now with Bidenomics, and there's an inflation even in the domain name market, so everything's gone up. .com used to be like $8, $9. Now they're like $15 with some registrars, which I think it's insane, you know. So the thing with all these registrars is they could sell you a domain name for a penny and they can still make money, but that's just you know, that's just how it is. So they all kind of, I guess, somehow keep the price very high. So as one goes up, eventually, sooner or later, all the other ones would follow. So I like Dynadot. I'm not sponsored by them by any means. I have some domains with them, and I have a lot of domains with tons of other registrars. So anyways, let's dive into it. So Maganomics, I'm going to search for it. Okay, let's say I want to buy this. So okay, their site's going to search, and boom, it tells me, oh look, Maganomics.com is taken. Maganomics.pro is taken. Maganomics, pretty much anything with Maganomics that's a common extension, I don't see org.net, in here, but anyways, so I can do a whois request. Okay, now what is this? Basically, this is a query that I'm gonna ask the website to look into what's called a whois server, which is kind of like think of like a phone book for all the domains, right? You want to find out where, I don't know, your auto repair place is, like Napa Auto Care or something like that. Well, you look up who is Napa Auto Care. They tell you the phone number and the address. This is basically kind of the same thing. So we're gonna hit whois right here, okay, and their website is gonna do a query to a whois server, which is in our case a GoDaddy whois server. So this tells us right here that whoever bought this domain, Maganomics.com, has bought it through the registrar GoDaddy LLC, okay, and they bought it or created it. This domain was created 2019-02-16, okay, so this is fairly new, only a couple years ago. So I'm going to assume that whoever bought this domain bought it through GoDaddy in 2019, okay. It was updated 2024 6/22, so about a month ago, okay. And it expires next year in February 16, which is the same. It corresponds to the month and day and time when it was registered. So every year you can renew the domain and whatnot. So you pay just to own it, so use it for a year. So this guy has it. This guy, or could be Donald Trump, could be his campaign, could be some random stranger, could be a guy like me, right? So it's registered with GoDaddy, Maganomics.com, and as you can see, the owner name and the email are obviously hidden. Now, excuse me, this is because in the last 10-15 years or so, the registrars got very, very smart, and they all kind of caught up, just like they're catching up with the prices. One of them decided, oh, we want to give privacy to our customers that buy domains from us, because before, when you bought a domain name, let's say you bought a domain name in 1989 or 1990 or 91, well, back then there was not many registrars. There was Network Solutions and 2 Cows. There were just a few registrars. There was one in Australia, I can't remember the name of it. So there was not a whole lot of registrars, but this domain used to be public, available to the public. So you can query any domain name sorry, and do a whois lookup on it, and you can find out who owns it. Okay, so as you can see, you cannot tell who whitehouse.gov is, right? So these don't have a query server, that I don't think. So let's see, I'm going to look on my server here just as a boom. So this one is okay. The server is, the query that we sent our request to was whois.nic.gov. So nic.gov is the registrar company like GoDaddy for the government, okay. Now, as you can see, everything is redacted for privacy. So when you register a domain, when you buy it, you fill your name up for making an account with a registrar like Dynadot or GoDaddy or 2 Cows or whatever. You become the registrant, or your company or your name. So when you used to query back in the day any name, whoisjim.com. Here we go. This one is registered through domain.com VeriSign. So this is registered with Namecheap, okay. So you can find out who the owner is. You can find their phone number and their address, physical address, if it was listed on there. So as you can see, this was not a very good idea because it exposed the owner of the domain name to the public. So anybody could do this if they were smart enough to either do it online on a website like whois.com back in the day, there was not a whole lot of websites where you can go and query and find out all this information. But long story short, all the registrars now, when you look up a domain name, all this stuff is hidden and you can find anything about anybody. So you can find out that it's registered to registrar Cloudflare. Okay, boom. There's no email, there's no contact phone. You cannot email these guys and say, hey, I want to buy discord.com from you, I'll offer you $1 billion. You don't even know who they are. That's how obfuscated or private this stuff has become. I'm not going to talk about the domain status codes and the EPP codes and stuff like that. That's beyond the scope of this video, but just to give you an example, right? So me as an IT guy, and obviously a guy that invests in domains and has a domain portfolio, I said, well, let me see this Maganomics, that's interesting. I want to see if someone has it. So then I started digging a little bit deeper, and here's one of the main reasons I wanted to make the video, and this is it right here. Now, I'm going to ask a question, which would be, do you guys think, here's the options, right? This was bought by the Harris campaign, by the DNC, by the Democrats, by Biden's team, by Obama, by, here's the interesting part, okay? 2016, 428. Okay, now let me ask you this. Do you know anybody in 2016, okay, that had any idea who Kamala Harris was at the time? Because all she did was debate Hillary and debate Tulsi Gabbard, and she kind of got some exposure, right? But before that, right, nobody had a clue who she is. So I don't remember if the debates were obviously after the 428. So January, February, March, April 28. Maybe I'm wrong. I guess I could look into this. But so there's a couple possibilities here, right? Either someone was smart enough, like me, predicting the future and thinking Kamala was going to run in 2024, okay, in 2016 to get the name, or there's a guy like me out there that says, you know what, I'm going to go out there and buy like Trump 2016, Trump 2020, Trump 2024, Trump 2028, Trump 2032, Trump 2036, and so forth, right? Now, I find this very interesting, and I want to hear what you guys think. Was this planned, or do you think this is just a coincidence? A guy like me that was bored in 2016 is like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna see Tulsi 2024. Let's see. Look at that. Okay. Now, you see this? It gets interesting, right? Interesting, right? Look at this. 2018. Now, I want to talk about something else. AOC 2032, right? 2019. Okay. Now, let's look at something. Here's KamalaHarris.com, right? Let's go see. KamalaHarris.com. Now, if you went to this domain name about a week ago or a week and a half ago, this will basically take you to this page right here. Alright, so KamalaHarris.com was a redirect to Joe Biden's page and then the funding page for Joe Biden. Ugh, disgusting. Anyways, what I want to talk about, look at KamalaHarris.com, alright? Now, here is where it gets interesting. 2002, registrarname.com. Okay, these guys, I use these guys too. I used to use them, I still use them. They're out of Colorado, United States, you know, American registrar based in Colorado. They were pretty good. They got really pricey. They thought their website's like creme de la creme or something, so they could charge a premium for domains, but I wouldn't recommend them at all. They're way too pricey, and yeah, sorry, name.com. You guys are just too obscene in your pricing, and that's a true fact. So nothing bad. Not saying, you know, I just don't recommend them. If you like them or if you got domains there, good for you. I just don't think it's I don't like their interface. I don't like their page. I don't like anything about their page. But like I said, I've used them before and I still use them. So not a fan. But oh well, it is what it is. Now, the creation date is 2002-0301. Now, I know for a fact name.com was not even around in 2002. Like, we're talking like dinosaur era for domain registrations back then with the .com boom and stuff like that. So what does this mean? So what this means is that this domain was bought through another registrar at some point in time, okay, in 2002-0301 at 6:16 p.m. 6:17. Okay, and over the course of the last 23 years, it could have been moved to GoDaddy. It could have been moved from GoDaddy to Two Cows or Network Solutions, or who knows, right? That's all that means. So that this is a very old domain name, and this used to point to Biden's page. Okay, now online you can go and look at these websites that basically crawl the web, and netcraft.com used to be a very good one where they would index, and what they would do is they would query a name server like these name servers right here and ask them about some random domain names. It would randomly generate a bunch of domain names, and then if the DNS server would respond that, oh yeah, I'm authoritative for it, alright, what records do you have? So they kind of build this database where they had access to the information where the website for this, the IP address that it was pointed. So they started like collecting this data and cataloging it, and basically you used to be able to go to netcraft.com and search for KamalaHarris.com, and you can see all the snapshots of the changes whenever the admin, the registrant, which is the guy that owns the domain name. If I own this, for example, and I went in here today and I would change the DNS servers, well, the updated date would change. So as you can see, this was changed literally today. Okay, right now it's 9:52 p.m. as of the recording of this video. So this was changed back east, because right now back east it's 10 o'clock here in Arizona, so back east it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. So I find this very interesting, okay, because do you think there's just one guy, maybe a guy like me, right, that has, let's look at this. Boom. You see this? JD Vance, right? 2028. Okay. 2019, 522. Oops. Numlock's not on. See that? Creation date 2024 7/15. So is this someone else? Okay, must be someone else. Why'd you use GoDaddy and then name.com and all these different registrars, right? So these are people, maybe like me, right, that are holding on to these names, hoping to score it big, all right, in about 10 years from now or 12 years from now, which is going to cost them about $150. But if Vance is running in 2036 and he wants this, you think he's going to pay a premium for it? Absolutely, right? So these are not dumb people. Let's see, I want to see this one. Look at that. AOC 2036, you know. All you have to do is just hit it big with one of these, right? And you could pay for all of them and probably put some money in your savings account. So, again, deflecting or going off topic, right? I find this very interesting. Either someone predicted a future like me, or someone is just super lucky. So I'm gonna be honest, like, I don't own this right now, but I wish I did. So if you find this interesting, and I want to hear your thoughts, like, what do you think? What are your thoughts about this? Do you think someone knew about this? The Democrats were in on this. They were predicting this, or do you think this was all staged and was prepped for this from a long time ago, from 2016? I want to hear your take on it, and yeah, it doesn't matter what you believe. I want to hear from you. So if you get a chance, yeah, like this video and subscribe, and I might make some more political videos. I guess I'm not really into politics that much, but I found this very interesting because of my background and because of what's going on right now in the United States. So yeah, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Out.